Singles Day.
Have you heard about Singles Day in China?
No, I'm not really sure. Can you explain what that is about?
This is a new holiday that's been created for single people.
Wow.
And so on this day, people don't buy presents for somebody else. They buy presents for themselves. They're celebrating being single. And it's been a huge success.
Wow.
Like the internet sales have just gone through the roof.
Huh.
So I guess companies just look for a time of year where there's maybe no holiday at the moment and try to create a new holiday.
That's true.
To sell more goods.
That's an interesting idea. It sounds like something you would do normally anyway, right?
Right.
We always shop for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So, but wow.
I heard actually that Mother's Day was, this might be an urban myth, but it was created by the Hallmark card company in America because there was a gap in the year where people weren't buying cards.
Huh.
And so they created this Mother's Day. Everyone's got a mother.
That's true.
And if they create this Mother's Day, everyone's going to feel obliged to buy a card for their mother.
That's true.
And now it's because, I don't know if it's true, but that's what it is.
But I say it's true because I think it's a huge hit in a lot of countries, actually. Yeah. And it's spreading more and more to different countries every year.
Yeah.
So these companies are definitely onto something.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing.
Right.
Right?
So what should we do? I can't boycott Christmas because I love Christmas too much. But maybe we could boycott some of these other days.
Maybe. Or just celebrate it in a way that's less commercialized. I guess we don't always have to buy big things. What about quality time?
Yeah.
Spending time with family, with friends, and just appreciating them in different ways than what we would think of just shopping or gifts and presents.
Yeah, that
material
sounds like
things. Yeah.
Nice idea.
Yeah, I think so. We'll save us some money, definitely, right?
Commercial Christmas.
So, Rory, do you think holidays these days, do you think they're too commercial? What do you think?
I mean, they are really commercial, aren't they? Like Christmas, especially. It seems to start earlier and earlier every year. So now you hear Christmas songs like in November,
That's
maybe
true.
even October, and the stores start to have decorations. Is it too commercial? I don't know. I love Christmas, so I love all the Christmas lights.
Okay.
But there is a lot of pressure on people to spend a lot of money at Christmas.
That's true. I think I'm with you on that. I love Christmas. I love everything that comes with it. The songs, the food, the family time.
Yeah.
So I can't really complain about it. But I think the calendar year has just become one big holiday thing where you start off in, I don't know, you start whenever. December, Christmas finishes, and we're already looking forward to Valentine's Day.
Right.
Valentine's Day finishes, Easter,
yeah.
St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
So it's like one continuous holiday coming up right after the other.
Yeah.
So,
and things like St. Patrick's Day. When I was a kid, my family's Irish. We never celebrated St. Patrick's Day at all. I mean, nothing. Didn't even talk about it. But now all the pubs and the bars have promotions. The restaurants have promotions. You're buying green beer. People are wearing funny hats. It seems to me like completely a commercial holiday.
That's true.
Doesn't seem to be related to St. Patrick at all.
That's true. That's true. Why do you think it's becoming more and more like that?
I guess that companies just see it as a way to sell more products.
Dialed in versus unplugged.
So, Paul, speaking of technology, how long do you think you can go without checking your phone?
It's quite embarrassing, really, if I'm honest. I check it a lot. I really do.
Really?
I'm always having a look at Facebook, my emails. I'm looking at the football news online. Yeah, it's not something I'm proud about, but it's something that, it's quite a big part of my life, I think.
If you left the house and you had forgotten your phone, would you feel something really missing?
I did, actually. I forgot I use my iPad a lot. and I forgot my iPad the other day, just as I was leaving, and my bus was about to arrive, and I really had this strong pull to go back for it, but I caught myself and decided that I can manage without it, for one day.
Could you manage?
Yeah, I did. I didn't even think about it, actually. It was just that, that sort of momentary pull where I thought I needed it.
Yeah.
And then actually having, sort of considered it seriously, it was like, well, I don't need it. So, yeah, I did fine without it. I didn't have to be, hooked up to a life support system or anything. But, yeah, it's amazing, really, how it comes to kind of be such a central part in your life. How long do you think you could go without using the internet?
I check my phone thousands of times a day. To exaggerate, didn't say thousands. I check it too much, I think, far too much. If I left my phone at home, I would feel gutted. I would feel like I'm really, really missing something. It would definitely be a big, big pull, I think. I read a lot of things on the internet and I check things. And yeah, when it's not there, then I do feel like something is, maybe I should be doing something or I'm missing out on something. And it's not good. I'm embarrassed, actually. It's not good at all. So I think I need to work on unplugging.
I've heard a lot of people, they try to do at least 1 or 2 days a week where they don't use, the internet at all. But that sounds like it could be quite a good idea. Maybe just, unplug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think you could?
I think I could, yeah. I think I could. In fact, I really like hiking and being outdoors. And I think one of the things that I really love about it is that nobody can contact me, Yeah. And I'm kind of away from everything. And I really enjoy those moments.
Yeah. I don't know if I could. I would have to cut down before going cold turkey, I think. I'd have to cut down. I'm trying to cut down. I mentioned before I'm trying to get back into reading. Just get back into real books instead of screen time. So, yeah, I couldn't go cold turkey, I think, a couple of days a week. I would need to cut down.
Yeah. I think we should probably... make a concerted effort. I think it's probably good for us to try to reduce our, user time.
Yep.
Email habits.
So, Amy, do you always check your emails in the morning?
Probably. Recently, I'm trying to stop using my electronic devices so much. So I think in the morning I need to do other things. Yeah. But very often I will quickly scan my phone and check, because my phone is also my alarm clock, so it's right there. It's too handy. Yeah.
I'm always, when I wake up, I don't know, I've got this really bad habit where I think something major's happened during the night. And so I wake up and I'm checking different websites and checking Facebook to see if there's been any messages or any great news over the course of the night. Yeah, it's a really bad habit, It starts to kind of dominate your life, Yeah, I think it's quite a addictive thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I've been thinking about it a lot recently, and it's something I think that doesn't need to be in the morning routine so much. It's good to just get your head ready before your head and your body ready before you start thinking about checking emails and stuff. I
agree. I heard there was a piece of advice, I can't remember where I heard it from, but it was just to check your email twice a day. You don't need to do more than that. Check once in the morning, once in the evening. That's it. Check your, news websites maybe twice a day rather than, every 30 minutes or something.
Yeah, so,
Yeah, I think it requires discipline, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
It's good advice.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's very practical, because if you're using a smartphone, which I do, then you're using it for, it's got so many different functions, and you need it for, well, need it, I guess. It's a loose term, but you use it for so many different things.
Yeah.
So it's always there, you know? Always there.
Yeah.
However, I did start reading a book the other day, so I'm trying to stop looking at my phone and start reading a book instead.
Good for you. Yeah.
Thanks.
That's a good move. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I should perhaps do that myself. Yeah. Yeah.
Life without cars.
So, Jeremy, you don't have a car now, but you had a car when you were younger. How do you find that?
Well, I mean, the reason I don't have a car now is because of money. I can't afford a car at this point. But it's been many years since I actually owned a car, and I've gotten really used to taking public transit. And, you know, when you don't have a car for several years, you just get used to it. And then I can sort of justify it to myself, saying, well, I'm doing my part for the environment. I'm not emitting all those emissions up into the atmosphere. So, you know, this is my small part for the world. But then when I think about how I can't take a road trip up into the mountains or go to the ocean or just enjoy my freedom, or I can't have 15 minutes where I get to listen to my own music and sing along in the car, or just have that time to spend to myself, I really, really miss it. Honestly, some of my best times from my youth were actually just driving around with my friends, and I don't get that anymore. And even just to go out and, you know, pick something up from the supermarket on a rainy day, I don't have that convenience anymore. So, I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world not having a car, but sometimes I really, really miss it. What about you, Abhidemi? I know you have transportation now. How do you enjoy that?
That's true. I think my story is the opposite of yours, actually, Jeremy. For the longest time, I did not have a car or transportation. All I had was my bike or walking everywhere. And although I enjoyed that, I envied my friends who had cars and could just take off at any moment, go wherever they wanted to. Now I have a scooter, and I absolutely love it. I would prefer a car on some days, it's true, on those rainy days or when it's really cold and I need the heat of a car. But the convenience of having my scooter and the fact that it's so cheap, I can go anywhere, anytime. I don't have to look for parking. Parking is free. I can leave it on the side of the road somewhere and find it there and don't have to pay for parking I really enjoy that. And it just feels cooler. Yeah. I think wherever I live, wherever I go now, I would, even if I do buy a car someday, I would always want to have a scooter or a motorbike. Because it's just something, I don't know, exciting.
As a scooter driver, though, do you ever feel intimidated by the cars on the road? I mean, is it dangerous, do you think, driving a scooter around?
That is a very good question. It's true. When you talk about road rage, road rage is one thing when it's car versus car. But when you're on a scooter and you can't go as fast as the other drivers and they're behind you, although they're very polite sometimes, they don't honk, but you can feel them coming behind you. So I try to drive as close to the edge as possible. At times I've just had to pull over because I don't want you to hit me. I know you want to get to where you want to go and you're faster than me. So I just pull to the side, let the car pass, and just go my way. So it's true. It is safety. You have to be really safe and conscientious, and you just have to pay attention to what you're doing.
Sounds like you have the right attitude as a
I try. I want to be safe.
Yeah.
Car smash-ups.
So I was on my way to work the other day, and I saw this really, you shouldn't laugh, but it was quite funny, traffic accident. And this, I shouldn't laugh, but this old lady was in her car, and bless her, she must have got confused, and she put the car into reverse, and when she meant to put the car in forward gear.
Yeah.
And she drove like straight into the person behind her.
Oh no.
And smashed up the car behind her, I mean, it was an innocent mistake, but, it could happen to any of us. But it was a bit sort of, calamitous, really. How about you? Have you had any car accidents or?
Not like that. I've been in a car. I was a passenger in a car accident. When I was about 17, my boyfriend at the time was driving too fast and on a country road with the national speed limit, so he was going pretty fast, and then we were pulling into a small village, so he had to slow right down. The roads were very, very wet. It was dark. He came up over a small hill and there was a big Jeep suddenly waiting to turn right, and he stamped on the brakes and skidded right into the back of it. So his little car just got demolished by this Jeep. We were okay. He hit his head off the steering wheel, and I think I had seatbelt pain from where the seatbelt was. But yeah, the car was a write-off, but we were okay.
Wow, thank goodness for that. sounds like it's pretty horrific.
No, it was okay.
Yeah.
It taught him to, I guess, be a better driver. He was driving too fast on slippery and dark conditions. So
yeah, I guess when you're at that age, you almost feel like you're untouchable. Nothing can stop you. So sometimes you need those sorts of experiences to kind of make you realize that,
don't be a boy racer.
Don't be a boy racer, and it could be taken away from you. Your life could be taken away from you very easily.
Yeah,
it's pretty.
Yeah, we were really lucky for sure.
Shockingly different.
So you were 12 when you came to Canada.
That's right.
Do you remember anything that was either really similar or really different from how teachers taught or from the classroom experience? Were they more or less the same, or were they shockingly different?
Actually, I think they were different in a lot of ways. For some reason, I had finished my grade 6, which is like primary 6, they called it in Nigeria, which is the end of high school. No, sorry, the end of elementary school in Nigeria. So when I came to Canada, they put me into grade 7, thinking it's the next level. But my level was higher, so they put me into grade 8 after that. So I got to skip a grade, which is really great. But I remember in terms of the way of thinking, in my English literature class, we had a composition, and we had to finish a story. And it was like, suddenly something appeared in the sky. What is it? And all my classmates wrote, it's a UFO. For me, I'd never heard of a UFO. So they were like, it's a UFO. It like makes somebody disappear. It picked up somebody, and one of their classmates, another person disappears. But in my essay, I'm like, it was just weird. I had a totally different way of thinking and processing things. And that really surprised my teachers. Because when they wrote my composition, they compared it to the rest of the class, to my classmates. And they were like, wow, this is interesting that you're all the same age and we're all speaking the same language, but the way we view things is very different. And I guess to me as well was my first exposure to cultural differences. And then after that, many years later, coming to Japan and being different again in a different setting, it made me think back to that time thinking, wow, you can't always expect same things. Like differences come in weird places sometimes.
I see.
So yeah, that's one thing I remember. But a lot of things were the same, different.
So Abhidhammi, just in terms of sort of the simple things in life, when you came to Canada, were there any foods or drinks that you were particularly fond of right away or thought were particularly strange?
Very good question. Food, a lot of food was all right at the bat. Like we didn't have any difficulties with that. But one thing I do remember was nacho chips. We were not used to cheese, the taste of cheese. So my sisters and I, what we would do is we would buy nacho chips, like Doritos. I don't know if everyone knows that. And we would wash it because the cheesy taste was strange. So we would wash it before eating it, and then we would eat it. And I had some friends who would just stare at us like, what's the point? Why would you buy that flavor of chips? That's the whole point, to taste that. But we're like, no, we can't eat this. But eventually now, I love Doritos. I've grown accustomed to the taste.
You probably made it healthier, though.
That's true.
First memories of Canada.
So Abidemi, you were born in Nigeria, but you moved to Canada and did most of your schooling in Canada.
Right.
Can you tell me a little bit about what the transition was like coming from Nigeria to Canada and doing a Canadian education system?
Sure. For me, it was an interesting experience. Both great and at the same time, I don't want to say traumatic, but very different in terms of lifestyle. Since I was very young, I loved traveling. I wanted to travel. So when my family decided to make the move to Canada, I was really excited. But I have to say I wasn't really prepared. I had no idea. Where is Canada, America, England? They were all the same to me at that age. So when we moved, and my dad had initially made the move, he went ahead of us. He got a job. He found a place for us to live. And then I arrived with my mom and my other sisters. There were 5 girls. And we arrived at the airport. And my first memory is looking out mid-December in Montreal. We arrived at Montreal airport. And looking out and seeing this white thing covering the ground and thinking, what is that? Why is it so white? And I remember saying to my dad as he drove up to drive us home, let's play in that. I want to play in that. What is that? So that was my first memory of Canada, of the snow. And it was fun. It was great arriving in December, but at the same time it was very cold. Personally, I'm not somebody that likes the cold too much, but having the warmth of my family in the midst of that cold made it worth it. It was awesome. And then at school, making the transition was a little harder. At that time, the school we went to, there were not a lot of minorities. So I think some of the teachers and some of the students weren't sure how to get accustomed to us, and we weren't sure what to expect either. But everyone tried their best, and we flourished. And I went on to high school and then did university. And one of the things was having my teachers, like we were talking about before, recognize the potential in me and my sisters and really encouraging us. And being with my classmates and making friends and having fun with them. And during that time, it was the late 90s, and there were a lot of transitions going on in other parts of the world. So people from different countries, like I remember we had a lot of people from Bosnia because of the war coming to my high school, and from other parts of the world, like from Asia. So it was a really multicultural school, high school that I went to. So learning about other cultures through my friends too made it really worth it. So I'm certainly glad that my family made the move. It's opened up amazing opportunities for me as well. And being able to come now to Japan and teach English, that was because of that. So yeah, although it was hard in ways that I hadn't imagined, but it was so worth it. And I've grown and I've had so many awesome experiences that, yeah, I'm really thankful for it.
Homegrown Foreigner.
So Jeremy, we both work in Japan, and I was just talking about how it feels like to go home. How does it feel like for you, Jeremy?
Well, when I go back to Canada, really the first thing that I notice is the air. And it's a funny thing to think, but I know when I arrive in Vancouver and I walk out of the airport, I can smell West Coast Canada air, and it really gives a kind of positive feeling to me. It's a small thing, but you notice how clean. It's not. I know it's a stereotype of Canada, but it really is such a clean place. And also Vancouver, you have the smell of the ocean, and you have the mountains right there. So that's the first thing that I always notice. But when I go back and I visit my parents, it takes me about 10 minutes to get used to where I am being back home. It doesn't take long at all. And I think it's because that's the house that I grew up in, and just, the feeling that I grew up with, it returns immediately. It goes away when I'm living in Japan, but as soon as I get back home, that feeling of comfort comes back within minutes. And, I look forward to the same thing that everybody looks forward to when they go back home. And food is right at the top of that list. I honestly look forward to turkey dinner maybe more than anything in the world, or prime rib, or those types of things. But it's just the small things, having mom make a snack or something like that, and just the feeling of being completely at ease and without a worry in the world is kind of what I most look forward to going back home. So, there's other things when you go out and you go to the stores and you circulate around town. It does feel a little bit like you're an alien in your own town, and but that's a feeling that I never mind. I have no problem being a foreigner in my own home now. I kind of enjoy the feeling. And sometimes I even wish that I didn't speak the language everybody else was speaking, because I don't want to hear everybody's conversations, to be honest. But no, the feeling of being in my house or my parents' house is really a feeling that is just complete comfort.
How often do you get to go back home?
Well, just because of the cost, I can probably only go back once a year. And also, we have an infant boy, and traveling with a 1-year-old on a 10-hour flight is, until you do it, you really never realize how terrible it is. But it is uncomfortable. It is really uncomfortable. So yeah, we're only able to make it back to Canada probably once a year now. But his grandparents love seeing him so much that we want to do it as much as we possibly can.
I guess the fact that you can't go as often as you would like makes it even much more worthwhile when you do get to go.
It's true, yeah. Just the expense and the time that we have to put in while you're there, you basically savor every second. You don't want to sleep. You just want to enjoy it. So yeah, it's a pretty special experience going back home now.
That's awesome.
The stubborn recovery.
Yeah.
How about you? Have you ever been in an accident?
Not a car accident. I was in a bicycle accident.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I laugh now, but at the time it was pretty bad.
What happened?
It was dark, and it was Christmas Day, and I was on my bicycle going down quite a steep slope, and my telephone rang. And I looked at my mobile phone, and I took it out of my pocket whilst riding my bike, and looked at it and noticed it was my dad, and he was ringing to wish me, a happy Christmas. So I felt sort of, compelled to answer the phone. So answering the phone, still going down the hill, probably gathering speed. It's dark. And I'm, trying to get my dad off the phone as soon as I can. And before I knew it, I drove straight into the back of a parked black car.
Oh, no.
I saw at the very last minute, So I hit the back of it, and my body slammed into the ground. And I broke a few bones. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was a pretty miserable Christmas, to be honest with you.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
Did the owner of the car see what happened? Did you damage the car?
I didn't stay long enough. I got out of there.
And went to the hospital? Pretty
quickly. No, I was a bit stubborn. I don't know why. It was the worst night's sleep I've ever had, but... I didn't go to the hospital until the next day.
What bones did you break?
Broke my collarbone, the clavicle.
Oh, nightmare.
And I broke a few ribs.
Oh no, ribs, that's the worst, because they can't do anything for it. They just send you on your way, and you just have to cough in pain. Oh no.
Yeah, but it could have been a lot worse, you know.
That's true.
Yeah, I could have broken my neck.
So, how long did it take you to recover?
It took me about 6 weeks, I suppose. Yeah, because then actually in the following, because it happened on Christmas Day, so 3 months later in the March, I was lucky enough to win a place in the Tokyo Marathon, and I really wanted to do it because it's quite difficult to get. It's like a lottery. You know? There's so many people who apply to get a position, so I wasn't going to let this accident stop me from running the Tokyo Marathon. So I was trying to rush it really, and I shouldn't have, but I did. I ran it. And,
did you?
Yeah, I finished it. But
congratulations! But
yeah.
How were you though? That must have really hindered your recovery.
It hindered my training period
Yeah.
for the marathon. Yeah. So.
But you finished it though.
I finished it. Yeah.
Well done.
I wouldn't do it again. Marathons are miserable things to do. Really, you know. Why put yourself through that pain? You know. I still like running, so maybe in the future I'd do a half marathon or something. Yeah, but a full marathon, my marathon days are over, I think. Yeah.